Welcome to the Paperless Productivity Podcast, where we have experts give you the insights, know-how, and resources to help you transform your workplace from paper to digital, while making your work life better at the same time.
Welcome to today's podcast. I'm so glad to be here. My name is Crystal Iverson, and I'm the president here at ImageSoft. Joining me today are two very wonderful ladies who I've had the pleasure to work with for several years now. We have Leanne Eastman, who is our HR manager, and Christy Kolis, who has the longest title that we've ever heard of. She is our recruiter and employee engagement specialist. So I'm so glad to have you both here today on the podcast. And today we're going to be talking about human resources and more importantly, human resources at ImageSoft. Talking about what makes ImageSoft special and unique and what kind of people we look for to round out our team. So without further ado, I'd love to jump into our first question that I have for you guys. ImageSoft has 5 core values, and our first core value is people first. I'm curious what it means to you to be people first, and how does HR help to support that? So Leanne, if you wouldn't mind starting us off and telling us a little bit about your thoughts here.
Yeah. Well, I guess, as Crystal mentioned, we have 5 core values. They are integrity, dependability, driven to excellence, and customer focused, and people first. But specifically, though, for people first, it's really just one identity marker for the type of individual we know will be very successful here within our culture. To me, it means a culture where we strive to make others successful. We seek to listen, we empathize, we understand others, and we treat others with respect and dignity above all. Also, we also seek to understand the person first and then the process or tool. When a team member has these values, we know that they are the right person for our culture, our ImageSoft culture. They embody this value in their day-to-day interactions, whether it be with their team members, their coworkers, customers, or anyone they encounter as a representative of ImageSoft. Outside like the obvious that we do seek in our recruiting process, people first candidates, but a different example of how HR supports this value is in our day-to-day interactions with our workforce. And our workforce is our HR customer, so that's who we represent. We service them. We provide that service to them and helping them navigate their questions on payroll, benefits, or really any issues or concerns that they may have. So no matter how many times I answer the same question, I always seek to listen, I empathize, I understand their issue, and provide an answer that has respect and dignity. Sometimes that's more challenging, but in the end, I represent ImageSoft and our values. But as a side note, I will just say that this value also just really has benefit when HR is sometimes called to provide support on a tricky people situation, which can be very challenging and stressful because of the high emotions. But I find when you pull back the layers of these situations and refocus the energy back to what people first means, that value, and you're more able to find a very fair path to a resolution to that situation, which really everyone can agree on because they see how maybe they have strayed from that value. So it just helps bring everybody back into focus. So that's kind of how we do it here at ImageSoft.
Thanks, Leanne. I love that. And I love that you mentioned right seat and right person, something that we probably won't get to on this podcast, but just that we do at ImageSoft is follow the EOS Model by Gino Wickman. And one of his principles is taken from the Jim Collins Good to Great, where it talks about having the right people on the bus and the right person in the right seat. So that's definitely something that we really focus here on, especially when we're looking for people first. Christy, do you have anything that you want to add?
I think Leanne really covered everything very eloquently, but I like to your point, that's one of the things that I think is so special about ImageSoft is that we do care that we have the right people in the right seat. And when we see somebody struggling and we feel that they're not in the right seat, we'll do what it takes to make sure that we find them that right seat if we know that they're the right person. And we also help support our employees in their goals. Like if, for instance, if somebody in finance wants to, dive into the IT world and, take her career in a different trajectory, we have supported that before in the past.
That makes me think of actually several examples throughout the company, right? I can think of several of our team members who maybe started in professional services and moved into customer care and moved into internal support. You mentioned people who started in finance, moved into IT, moved into professional services. So we have, professional services into cloud services and technical support, all kinds of an interweb of folks, because again, like you said, we focus on having the right people here and then look for how their career moves forward. It's a great example. Thank you. So, Christy, with the role of employee engagement specialist, along with your recruiting capacity, I would look to you to see how important is it that you believe employee engagement is for a successful business?
Employee engagement is extremely critical to any organization that values their employees. Having an effective strategy in place helps to create a better work culture, reduce employee turnover, increase productivity, and helps build a better work and customer relationship. Right now, remote organizations have to find creative ways to keep it fun and inclusive for everybody. We're always looking for ways to connect our employees. The world of remote work is dependent on creating a culture that people can buy into and get involved in, no matter where they're located. We have two very successful programs here at ImageSoft. Our CARES and wellness committees, I think, are top notch. We try our best to connect with our employees no matter where they are, help them interact with different departments, different team members. We like to do happy hours. We have wellness activities, happy hours, anything that we can to try to keep people engaged.
Yeah, and I think I can kind of follow up with Christy on that is feedback from our employee surveys, even if they didn't participate maybe in the cares or wellness activities, they valued just the fact that the company was providing this to everybody and being inclusive no matter where you were. It's really a testament that we've been recognized and won elite awards on engagement through the 101 Best and Brightest program. So all the little unique things that the cares and wellness team do really kind of just ties it all together and helps us keep engaged with everybody because, we are all across the United States.
I know when I look at exit interviews, when we do have the unfortunate experience of losing an employee, one thing that's always consistent, regardless of where they're going, is that I don't think I've ever seen somebody who hasn't commented about our culture and how wonderful it is. And most of the time I see, we love ImageSoft, but XYZ. And it's so wonderful to know that that really is the culture that we've built across the state lines, across the internet, now that we're all working remotely and working from home. So kudos to you all for all the work that you do to make sure that you're creating that employee engagement.
Welcome.
Okay, so Leanne, I am really curious about this particular question. I have been in a number of interviews because I've been in multiple positions throughout the organization before becoming president. And I have a question that many prospects ask me or somebody else during the recruiting process, which is, what do you love about ImageSoft? And I know what the answer is pretty much consistently across the board, but I'm really curious to hear what you all think about why people love working here. So Leanne, why don't you start us off?
Sure. As I mentioned, we obviously do try to hire those people that meet our core values, which fosters a terrific work environment, a positive work environment, inclusive work environment. Over the years, we've had some affirmation that our efforts have been rewarded by winning elite industry awards for work-life balance. We've won that twice. Employee enrichment, engagement, and retention, we've won twice. And also employee education and development. These awards were granted by an outside panel of industry experts for our company size by reviewing our company survey. And that include analytics and narratives describing our culture and our operations. More importantly, the best data used in these awards come from the third-party administered employee survey results. So the feedback that we, for the most part, provide an inclusive environment, which allows our employees to be their best, is something that they value the most about ImageSoft. We also, I think, in a different vein, is more of, we have a robust internship program. It's what I love about ImageSoft and working here, because it's an excellent program to gain real life work experience through mentorship. Interns work in small, closely working pods where they have the opportunity to learn from experts in their field on a daily basis. That is priceless. That's priceless experience. A testament to our program is that there are several former interns who are now in leadership positions with ImageSoft. So we foster that growth in their careers, and it's the sky's the limit. If you have the will and the drive to do it, we're going to give you the opportunity to prove that.
Absolutely. I think those are some great points. One of the other things that, since now, we have as a company decided to, pivot to 100% remote company, I think that helps. That has really opened up the parameters for our employees, and as well as our candidate pool. It gives us a lot more flexibility to find candidates. But one of the things that I get this question all the time when I'm interviewing, folks on the phone, and they ask me, so what do you like working about ImageSoft? And, I always say, it's the people first, because we truly live, breathe, that philosophy all the time. We always have, right? But one of the things that I think makes ImageSoft so special is, and it's a huge compliment, is we have a lot of employee referrals. We get a lot of our new employees by employee referral. And who's going to say, come work with me? I don't really like it here, but come work here. I mean, if somebody's tapping somebody on the shoulder and saying, hey, come work where I work, they obviously really like working where they are. So, and that's one of the biggest compliments I think a company can get. And we have a lot of employee referrals.
Yeah, I totally agree. And to answer the question that I said earlier, as far as what my answer is, and what pretty consistently across the board, people say when they get the question of, what do you love most about ImageSoft? I've never heard anyone say it's their mouse or their keyboard or the quality of the Teams calls, although Teams is great. Consistently, it's the people that they work with, that they have high achieving people who have their same values, and they just really love the folks here. And conversely, when I get a chance to meet with our new employees, which I do on a monthly basis, I hear nothing but, I feel like I've been here for so long. I feel welcomed. Everyone is kind, that I feel like I've known these people for so long. And that is because of the quality and due diligence that I think that especially you two and our interviewers do to make sure that we have these right people in the right seats. So Christy, the other part of your long title is recruiter. So I'm curious, on the recruiter side of things, what is some advice you could give to somebody who might be actively looking for a job?
Well, I do this every day. So, and it is a very tough market out there right now. And I know, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is ghosting. Don't ghost the organization or the recruiter that you're working with. It's not professional and generally considered a common courtesy. Those that do this obviously wouldn't be a good fit for our culture. It is remembered and noted in your files. So, that's my biggest pet peeve as a recruiter is, just don't ghost somebody. It's obviously a people first issue. And if you do that, I'm glad I know it in the beginning. So that's my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah. I think I can just recommend that you should be prepared for your interviews. Make sure you understand it's, if it's just a phone interview, that you have a quiet space around you, or if it's a virtual interview and you're going to be on camera, you want to make sure that you're prepared. Is your lighting okay? All those little things that you kind of go through, that would make you be presented in the best light. Come to the interview with questions for your interviewers. What do you like working about? Asking, what do you like working about at ImageSoft? Is it, it's just a time for you to learn about the company as well. And, this could be a future place of you working. So you want to know everything about it, be curious about what goes on in the inner workings of the place that you're interviewing.
Thank you, Leanne. You brought up one thing that I think is really important for video interviews. Now that we are a fully remote company, just go through the extra 2 minutes to test that your video and audio is going to work ahead of time. Just do it. Even if you feel confident, even if you've used Zoom 18,000 times in your life, that's sort of the worst part is when you're interviewing for a technology company and you can't get your video to work. We would really encourage you to go through that quick test. And like you said, this is essentially platonic speed dating, right? We are looking to see if you're a good fit for us, and you're looking to see if we're a good fit for you, right? We want to make sure that we have a good cultural match, that we get on well, that you get to know your manager a bit, because you spend a lot of time with your counterparts. And so making sure that there's good synergy between the parties is really important. So I love that you said come with questions and make sure that you feel like you're a good fit for us as well. Okay, last question. ImageSoft has some openings at the moment, and so I'm curious, Christy, for anyone that's sort of on the fence about applying, what would you say sets us apart in terms of our workplace environment here at ImageSoft?
Well, again, our people. We recruit based off of our core values, being a kind and caring teammate, being willing to pitch in and help, even if their schedule is stacked, working together for the greater good. We've seen this on our teams. We have a collaboration station, and so on the Teams channel, people are willing to, hop on a conversation at, 4:30 on a Friday to help somebody through an issue, or, willing to help, follow up over the weekend, if they need, assistance with an upgrade or something. So, that's the type of people who work here, and that's the type of people we want to continue to bring into the team.
For sure, for sure. And I think we mentioned it earlier, but our employee referral program is really robust. We have at least 27% of our new hires come from referrals. If that doesn't tell you something about the organization, then I can't say anything more, because again, we get referrals all the time. We do provide a referral bonus, so there is some incentive, but I think also it's really just the environment, like Christy said, you're not going to refer somebody, tap somebody on the shoulder like, hey, come work for us, because this is such a bad place. It's just not going to happen. So, I think that's just really why people love working here as well, that we're bringing in, because we like those employee referrals. We like having that personal perspective that somebody's worked with somebody previously and they can really make that recommendation.
So we talked about our core values and people first and recruiting and what makes ImageSoft special. So now I want to break down the really juicy stuff. I want to talk about HR. So HR can kind of get a bad rap sometimes, though I will be totally honest in saying that is not the experience I've ever had with you two women. You are a joy to work with, but I am curious. So Leanne, maybe you can start us off and try to demystify a little bit of HR. So what should people know about human resources and what you guys do?
Sure. Yeah. I know HR sometimes does have that, grim reaper type of, when we walk into a room, everybody's got to be on their best behavior. But what you should know when you pull back the curtain is that we really care about our employees. We really care. We have your best interest at heart. May not feel like that sometimes, but we do. HR has to be in the middle because we have to represent ImageSoft, the company, and we have to navigate this tightrope because we need to administer rules fairly, while also making sure that our employee is fairly represented and supported as well. You're our customer, so we have to support you and we service you. Behind the scenes, we're working really, really hard on their behalf. If we don't get back with them instantaneously, it's not because we're trying to ignore them. It just means we're maybe experiencing some complications and there's more to provide a proper answer that's accurate, and we need to work through those issues. So sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, but we're not ignoring. You just have to, we try to communicate really well, but sometimes, we fail to, but we really have their best interest at heart.
And Christy, what about you? What are you dying to share about HR or what you do?
Well, we truly don't like being the police, and nagging to return forms or, get that signature, get the signature that we need from you. You know, it is a thankless job, but we have to do it. And at the end of the day, both Leanne and I love what we do. We enjoy supporting ImageSoft and the employees that work for ImageSoft. And, you know, we hope that shows.
Well, it may be a thankless job, but I want to say thank you to both of you, not just for being on the podcast today, but truly for being the advocates of the employees, being the advocates of the candidates, making sure that you are doing everything that you can to have a successful team and company and balance the line, right, between company and person. And it's a tough position that you're in. And so truly thank you. And for everybody out there, HR is not scary, just so you know. So again, thank you, Leanne and Christy, for your time. If you are interested in learning more about ImageSoft, about our company, you can visit us on our website. It's imagesoftinc.com. That's ImageSoft, SOFTINC.com. And as we mentioned, we are looking for a few special people. And so if you're interested in learning more about any of the careers we have available, hit up our careers page. So imagesoftinc.com/careers, or you could just click on the button on the top corner. So hopefully you'll get a chance to talk with Christy soon. And I really appreciate the time today.
Thanks again for joining us on this podcast. To learn more about ImageSoft, please visit ImageSoftInc.com. That's ImageSoftInc.com. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to Paperless Productivity, where we tackle some of the biggest paper-based pain points facing organizations today. We'll see you next time.